Good morning. It is 6:44. Friday. Made it. It is Friday. Yes, it is. October 10th. Man. And the days and the months, they just, I don't know, they move with a certainty that is sometimes disorienting. I can't believe how quickly time is passing these days. I don't know if it's a product of getting older or what. It's just insane. So, are you guys catching that sunset that's happening? Or sunrise, I should say? I'm still sleepy. It's a beautiful sunrise. Man, it's really looking nice. If you're up and you haven't looked outside, you should do it. What will we talk about today? This morning. Listen to that music. Damn. I was sitting in the chair here in the store, just looking around, and thinking about what the heck to talk about, and I was listening to something, and she used two words that struck me hard. She was asking the viewers if they had a poverty consciousness. And I was like, yeah. When somebody says the word poverty, what's the imagery that comes to mind? Do you see dollar signs? Is that what you think? I think most people do. It's one of the images that comes to my mind. Another, though, is poverty. The word poverty, it's saying that something's in short supply. And that could be anything, not just money. And I know oftentimes when I'm sitting in this store and I'm looking around and I think to myself, wow, this is not poverty in any way, shape, or form. And I look at all the different products on the shelves that populate the shelves and that are displayed. And it's so beautiful. Even my daughter Melody just remarks out loud out of nowhere that this store is it's gorgeous. And when customers come here, they for the first time, I like it when we get the first timers here, and because they come to the neighborhood here, they're never expecting what they're gonna find. They open the door and their eyes go wide and they're just like, oh my God, wow, because they just can't believe it. It's so funny. This business is 17 years old. And this store, even though it's the smallest aspect of the income that comes in through this business, it is the smallest aspect of that stream of revenue. But it is the crown jewel in my mind. It is the, I don't know, it's just like that cherry on the cake, that last topping that goes on the cake. The one, it's a showroom for me, it's more than just a store. It's like a reminder. It's my church, I get to come in here and it just reminds me of everything, all the battles that I've fought through, all of the challenges I've had to face, and all of the doubts that I've had in my mind. And when we think of a poverty consciousness, that's part of it, It's like these doubts that we have in our mind, and we think about what is possible. And of course, what is possible, when we say to ourselves that that's not possible or it is possible, probably has something to do with your life experience. What is your experience from the time you were a young child to the place that you are today? And I'm somebody that grew up in, I would say, it's oscillated, it was between middle class and a little bit below middle class. But there wasn't a lot of stability in my life as a young person, as a child. It's a lot of upheaval, a lot of moving around, and a lot of real disturbances with peace and tranquility. It was in very short supply in our household. And I just kind of got used to going from school to school, house to house, state to state, and just a lot of moving around and just no stability. And I think that, in a lot of ways, it's really damaging for a person to not have roots, to not be able to keep friends, and to always be starting over. And it's just so exhausting. I know a lot of you probably can relate. And, you can find yourself, unknowingly or not, you can really absorb that reality and hold on to it in a way that becomes unconscious. And you just come to expect the unexpected, expect uncertainty, you expect lack, you expect suffering, you expect. And, I'll tell you something. 17 years ago, when I was just starting this business, and it was just me and a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, and table, a chair, a hat. Very humble beginnings. I would be sitting on the side of the road with honey, a few cases of honey. And I remember for the first 6 months of this business, my poverty mindset was in full swing. And even though I was out there trying, definitely making steps and strides to create something that would hopefully at some point in the future bring dividends, I still had this poverty mindset from the life that I had lived up until that point. A life of many disappointments and just things that didn't work out. And I'd be sitting there on the side of the road, and every time a customer would stop, I would think it was the last time a customer would stop, because I just couldn't believe that that my luck could continue. And that's what I saw it as luck, And I just thought, nah, no one else is going to stop. But then someone else would stop. And every time I'd say, man, that's weird, but you know what? This can't continue. And I did this probably for 6 months. You guys, it was just crazy. And I remember thinking at one point, at the end of that 6 months or somewhere around there, I was like, I think there could be something wrong with me, because I have seen nothing but the opposite of what I'm expecting. And I'm expecting something that hasn't even presented itself, not even one time. That's kind of weird. And I started thinking, man, I'm really jacked up. Self-defeating, pessimistic, a real doubting Thomas. That's me, man. My dad used to say that about me when I was a kid too. But I'm a person that's always been big on evidence. But here I am, getting all of the evidence that anyone could ever want or need, and still you can't believe. And I think, though, it just goes to illustrate so clearly how a poverty mindset, how entrenched that can be when that's been your experience for your whole life. It's there's so many books out there that talk about pain and trauma and how these energies live in your body, and the process of releasing this energy is so important, so crucial, and so hard to do. The work that is involved, the belief system you have to even know that all of that pain is trapped inside of you in the very tissues of your body. And you don't realize it because it's just become a part of who you are. And so this poverty mindset, it's living inside of you. It could be living inside of you and you're totally unaware of it. You just don't even know. And maybe you'll never become aware of it unless somebody says something to you, or it is shown to you in such a way like I just described. For 6 months, I show up with honey, I sit on the side of the road, and people stop and buy. And it happens without fail. And there's nothing, I don't even need to do anything, I just need to show up. And then the universe shows up, meets me halfway, maybe even more than halfway. You want to talk about compassion, God, the universe. Rearranging and arranging things in such a way to show you what you're doing to yourself. Allowing you to see with clarity so that you can have a different view, a different vision, a different idea of what's possible. And so when you're confronted with this new reality, you start saying to yourself, I must be crazy to keep thinking that this thing is going to tank. There's no evidence to support that idea. All the evidence points to 1 + 1 = 2. All you need to do is be here, show up. And God takes care of the rest. The universe takes care of the rest. And I could tell you, that from day one, this business has made money. Always, every day. It has never left me in a lurch. It has never left me unable to pay a bill. It has always put food in my mouth, in the mouth of my family, a roof over our heads, clothes on our bodies. There were moments where things were tight, but it has never failed us, never. And now, that is something that I think about a lot. How magical this business is. It's so much more than just a business. It's really my go-between. I know that sounds crazy, but it's my church. It's my temple between me and the divine God, universe. Sometimes I think to myself, what is God? What does it mean to you? It's an interesting question, because I don't know what God is. I don't think it's a person. I don't think God has a gender. I think of God as an energy. But I don't know how to imagine a form that God would take, because I see God in everything. My work and all of the products in this store and my customers, and myself. I see God as an energy. It's the best way I can describe it. But it does impart feelings. When I think about God, it's an emotional feeling that I have. I feel loved. But I also have to say, if I'm honest, I feel challenged oftentimes and angry at God too. And I mean, like yesterday, I got so upset with God, I think I invented a few new curse words. And my relationship with God is often like that. It oscillates and rockers between love and just total frustration. And I sometimes I get so impatient with God, and I'm just like, you move so slow. How is it that the God of the universe is so damn slow? I'm like, I'm ready to go, and you're telling me to wait. And I just don't understand why you're driving me crazy. And sometimes I'll be listening to something and I know it's God talking to me, and I'll just be like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to do it that way. And other times I just can't stop crying because I'm so in love with God and so in harmony with that God spirit, that God energy. It's really crazy. But I've never had an experience like this business in my life. Never. I really see it as a living entity. And I know it will be with me until the last breath I take. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for that certainty that I've come to expect from this business. That it will always be here for me. That the life that I led before I started this business is not the kind of life that I am doomed to live with for the rest of my life. And my work and this business have opened doors for me that were always closed to me and continued to present opportunities that I never saw coming. And so that poverty mindset, I've been able to shed that thing like a snake sheds its skin. And I can't say that the last 17 years have been nothing, a bed of roses, I've had my share of challenges and losses for sure. But I'm still standing. And God is standing with me. And when you got a partnership like that, it's pretty hard to have a lack mindset, a poverty mindset. But I understand the challenge. I know that building is hard. And I've already mentioned that waiting is difficult. And oftentimes when we start a project and I remember when I started this business, I'd be sitting outside, it'd be 113 degrees, and all of these insects are trying to get into my eyes and my nose and my mouth and my ears. And I would be out there trying to sell honey, and I'd just be thinking, like, who am I fooling? I can't do this forever. Is this really what it's going to look like 20 years from now? I wish I could just go 5 years into the future. If I could just look 5 years into the future to see if I'm still sitting in this chair out here and it's 113 degrees. Man. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to trust, to believe. I know. I always knew there was something special about this business. I knew I wasn't alone. I knew that God was with me, that God was helping. I knew that right from the beginning because God was a major ingredient in me even starting this business. I had major conversations, many of them with God. Many of them were very it was chaotic. Our conversations, our relationship, my decision to actually put this into motion, to start it, I really resisted. I resisted hard. I tried to find every argument in the world not to do this because I was like, well, God, up until this point in my life, what makes you think I could be a businessman? I have failed at everything. I just can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough education. I don't have enough experience. I'm a procrastinator. And I just had all these reasons why I couldn't do it. And still, I was being pressured to do it. And I can't explain that pressure. It was an external pressure, man. I was being pressured by God to do it. And now I can look back and I understand why. God is trying to free me from this self-imposed prison that I was in, this poverty mindset, God knew that this vehicle, entrepreneurship, was going to be the vehicle to set me free, to allow me to find myself, so that I could live a better life. And the universe wants that for everyone, for all of you too. Wants you to have a better life, wants you to not have a lack mindset, a poverty mindset. God wants you to live your best life. And the universe is working tirelessly, and has been your whole life, trying to talk to you and maneuver you, but we resist. And God tries to just kind of like nudge you in a direction. And sometimes if we resist too long, then God has to come in and it's not a gentle push anymore. He'll shove you into position that you need to be in. It's like, well, okay, this one is really stubborn, and I guess I'm just going to have to do the God thing right here and put him where he needs to be. And sometimes, you guys, what that looks like is all of a sudden people are yanked out of your life, a major upheaval. And it seems like your whole world is coming to an end, but really God is just clearing the table for a banquet. But you got to clear the table first. Got to get off all that other stuff that is in your way, that's been getting in your way. And a lot of it you're not even aware of. And so it looks like God is cleaning house, that he's tearing your world apart, and that everything is coming down around your ankles like a baggy pair of pants with no belt. And you think, God, why are you doing this to me? You're killing me. I love that person. Why did you take that person out of my life? And God is like, look, you're lost, man. You need to find yourself. That's the first thing that we need to worry about, not anything else. So we got to get you to find yourself again. We got to get you to a place where you love yourself truly again, where you have faith and belief like you used to have. You're starting to slip into that poverty mindset again, and I just won't let you do it. I can't let all of this hard work that you've done go down the drain. I see things clearly, you don't, so I have to do this thing. But it's for you. It's because I love you. And I just don't want to see you fail. Because I know that's the last thing you want to see in yourself. Yeah. Maybe you recognize the same kind of love in your life. It's happened to you too, happening to you. Are you sensitive to understand what's going on? Or do you just believe the universe is conspiring against you, trying to make your life miserable? There is a process that will help you. It's called awakening, a spiritual awakening. A process of, it's a program that God developed, and it's inside you. It's part of your physical makeup. It's in your DNA. And it's activated under extreme stress or duress, loss, agony. When you're at the bottom and you see no hope. If you find yourself in that situation, there's only one thing that you have to do to activate that program, because you're already sitting in an environment that the program is primed for. It's ready to go, but it needs you to do one thing. One thing. What do you think that is? What is that one thing? Let's just pause for a minute. I want you to think. What is God waiting for? What is he waiting for? God, the universe, source, whatever you call that awesome energy, is waiting for you to say, okay, I'll do it. Take me. Do it. Do it. I'm ready. God is like, are you sure? It's gonna hurt. But I promise, on the other side is that banquet. I promise. And you're like, just do it. Do it before I change my mind. That's what God's waiting for. God's waiting for you to give him the okay. So that spiritual awakening program can initialize. And when it does, you're going to know it. Think about that. Think about it. Think about saying yes. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever faced for a time. Because God has to dismantle your ego. He has to kill it. He has to slay that dragon. But then God will build it back up. He'll build you up with the right kind of ego. He will rebuild you. Will transform you in ways you cannot imagine. But you have to be open to it. You have to be willing to go through this process. And I promise you, it is painful in the beginning. But that's why these videos are here. And there are many other people making them also to help you in that journey so that you're not alone. God will be with you, and so will your earthly brothers and sisters. You're never alone. Remember that. You're never alone. So there it is. It's your ticket, your golden ticket. I'm gonna go for a motorcycle ride and go have a nice coffee over at Starbucks. I hope everyone has a good day today. It might be a good day for you to do something special for someone that you love. Use your imagination. I love you. Bye.